Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 shocking reasons why to step out of your comfort zone. Then a lot of things in life require us to do things that are uncomfortable. And many of you may be faced right now with a decision that quite frankly scares you. You might be taking on a new responsibility, maybe in leadership, or a new skill that you've never done. You lack the experience, and yet Providence has placed before you an opportunity, and you're trying to know, how do I handle this? You see, a lot of the decisions that we make in life are to avoid discomfort. We try to move away from those things that are uncomfortable. But today I'm going to be sharing with you 6 shocking reasons why you should actually step into the discomfort and step out of your comfort zone. But first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Enoch Leffingwell, and with the Army of Youth, we are passionate about helping young people to identify the unique talents and dedicate them to the Lord's service. And today, I'm going to be sharing with you, this is so important because especially if you're in a new startup ministry or a new organization or company, or you are doing any new leadership role for the first time, there's going to be some discomfort involved. And I'm going to be sharing with you some strong reasons to help you to look at discomfort a little differently. So the number one reason to step out of our comfort zone is because if it doesn't challenge you, it will never change you. You see, strength is gained through what? Through exercise. Is exercise comfortable or uncomfortable? It's quite painful if you've ever done it before. And Hebrews chapter 5 verse 14, it talks about how by reason of use we can have our senses exercised. So it's the law of use. If you don't use it, you what? You lose it. So in like manner, if it doesn't challenge you, you're not going to see any growth. So you have 2 options. You can have comfort or you can have growth, but you cannot have both at the same time. And I'll say this again, you can have comfort or you can have both, but you cannot you can have comfort or growth, but you cannot have both at the same time. And truth be told, when you really come down to it, nothing changes if nothing changes. What you sow is what you reap in Galatians 6:7. So if you're unhappy with the results that you have right now, or if you realize that there's a skill that you want to develop, the only way to do that is to do something different. And a lot of times these new uncertain situations, they cause uncomfort. But this leads us to our second reason why to step out of our comfort zone. Very encouraging, because when you step out of your comfort zone gets bigger. In John chapter 12 and verse 35, Jesus said, "Yet a little while is the light with you. Walk in the light while you have the light, lest darkness come upon you." And truth be told, action breeds clarity. A lot of times we're like, "Oh, I've never done this. I have no experience. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of confused." And we look at what we're missing. But God is asking you, what if you shift your focus, change your question, change your life, and by asking, what do you know? What do you understand? And what do you have? And what if you use what you have? Because 9 times out of 10, if we would simply use the resources available to us that we have, then God is willing to accept that. And then we will be able to push through whatever obstacle it is. So when you step out of your comfort zone gets bigger. How many people want a bigger comfort zone? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And Proverbs chapter 4 verse 18, it talks about how the path of the just is as a shining light that shineth more and more to the perfect day. In all reality, if you're not growing, you're dying. And progress equals happiness. We all have a basic human need of make that forward progress, that growth in the calling and the direction that God has called you to be. And if you're not making daily advancement towards that, then you are falling backwards. There's no standing in the light. It's a continual advancement, or it's a retrograding, a backsliding. So when we step out of our comfort zone gets bigger. So the reason number 3 is that, and this is one thing you hear me say often, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. We see that in Exodus chapter 4, where Moses was being called of God to serve and to deliver the children of Israel. And Moses is like, no, Lord, I can't do it. I'm not an eloquent speaker. And God's like, Moses, who made your mouth? I can give you the words to say. I'm not calling you because you're qualified. You are being qualified because you're called. And many of you are probably here that you have a conviction, you have a burden on your heart. God has given you a message. God has given you an experience, a service, or something to impart of value to other people. And you know that you have something that can help someone else. And God is calling you to go share that gift with the world. And it could be very uncomfortable. You may feel unqualified for the experience that is before you. And the fear of making mistakes may make you feel uncomfortable. But I want to ask you, has God called you to be comfortable? Is the Great Commission that Jesus said, go ye therefore and to avoid all nations? No, because talking to strangers is uncomfortable, because doing new things makes us afraid. That wasn't the Great Commission. God has said, all power is given unto me in heaven and earth. Go ye therefore and teach all nations. So friends, your message matters and it can transform lives. I'm here because someone decided to tell some young people that God has a plan for my life, and I chose to believe him. How shall they hear without a preacher be sent? And you can speak, you can publish. It has once been said by Martin Luther, a famous reformer, if you want to change the world, take up your pen and write. And I would say a modern equivalent is, if you want to change the world, pick up your phone and publish. You can record today as never before, just like it's uncomfortable for me, to be honest, to go live and to be sharing with you these messages every day. But I know that God has called me to serve, and God has given me a message that could hopefully help someone's life. And if these trainings have been a blessing to you, let me know in the comments. How have the Army of Youth been an impact in your life? We share these testimonies with the team, and it really encourages us. But it's extremely uncomfortable. And where would we be if someone didn't step out of their comfort zone and shared with us? I'm inspired by that. So realizing that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And if you are called to serve, then he will qualify you, the qualifications in the calling. So that brings us to number 4. The fourth reason to step out of your comfort zone is because everything you want is outside of your comfort zone. Think about it. Can you think of one thing that you really want that is currently in your comfort zone? No. Because no cross, no crown. A lot of people want the glory, but they don't realize this. They despise the sufferings that comes before. It is because of the cross of Christ that we can live and reign with him as kings and priests to God and to his throne. Revelation 1:5-6. Also, Romans 5:3 was saying that we should glory in tribulations, in discomfort, and difficulties, and trials, because the trials work patience. And patience brings so many other things that we desire in life. So really, when you think about it, everything you want in life is outside of your comfort zone. The relationship that you want, it's out of your comfort zone. The friends that you want, out of your comfort zone. The skills, the training that you want, it's out of your comfort zone. Everything in life that you could possibly desire, lives just outside of your comfort zone. So what I'm trying to do, and I'm in this journey with you, I'm in the trenches daily, doing things that are uncomfortable. And I'm doing things that I'm constantly like, Lord, I don't even know how to do this. This is far beyond my experience level. And I'm compelled because I see the need and I see the pain people are going through, and my heart has compassion for the people who are hurting. And I'm like, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? And it encourages me to step out of my comfort zone. I'm doing things daily that causes me to step out of my comfort zone. And I would challenge you to, when Paul says, I die daily, what was he really saying? He's saying every day I'm doing things that challenge me. Every day I'm doing uncomfortable things. He stepped out of his comfort zone daily. So I would encourage you, do something every day that scares you. and you will find and experience a joy and a peace that is unlike anything that you've had in your comfort zone. This is where true joy, peace, happiness, and fulfillment is found, just outside of our comfort zone. So I try to learn, how can I live outside of my comfort zone? And it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can too, my friend. I encourage you. So, number 5, the 5th reason why you should step out of your comfort zone is because Christ stepped out of his comfort zone for you. Yes, my friend. Jesus left his throne of glory. He was worshipped by angels. He was a monarch of the universe, and yet he came down. He humbled himself as a servant, and he humbled himself even as took on a babe. He was born and he lived for you. He could have been the king of this world, all comfort and luxurious, living with ease, but he didn't. He chose to sacrifice all so that you and I could have life. He was treated as you deserve, so you could be treated as he deserved. Do you think it was comfortable for our Heavenly Father to give his only begotten Son? No. But John 3:16 says, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. I encourage you, friends, to dedicate your lives to Christ's service, because Christ gave everything for you. What have you given to him? He gave his life for you. What have you given for Christ? Are you willing to do the discomfortable? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone for Jesus? He lived. He became poor for us so that through his poverty we might become rich. What uncomfortable thing are you willing to do for Jesus? I would love to know in the comments, what is it that you believe that God is calling you to do that is uncomfortable? And what are you willing to commit for Christ today, right now, to go forth and to step out and to claim those promises of God, because they are for you, that you feel called to do? I'd love to hear from you. So that is number 5, is Christ stepped out of his comfort zone for you. Now, reason number 6 to step out of our comfort zone is because stepping out of our comfort zone is a test of discipleship. Now, what do I mean by that? Wait, what? Yes, Luke chapter 14, verse 27, Jesus said, if any man come after me, let him take up his cross and follow me. If he's not willing to take up his cross, he cannot be my disciple. It is a test of following Christ, is whether or not we're willing to take up our cross and to follow Christ. See, in Galatians, it's like when you look at like bearing the cross, wait, I thought Jesus took that cross. He did the uncomfortable for me, so I don't have to, right? Yes and no. Jesus did that as an example, leaving us an example that we can follow in his footsteps of sufferings, as the epistles of Peter says. So that the cross of the Christian, what is the cross of the Christian? Galatians 5:24 shows that the cross is that which crosses the natural affections and the will. So our natural inclination, the things that we find comfortable, the path of least resistance, the thing that crosses that, that's your cross. That is your test of discipleship. And that is where Jesus is looking for the serious and those who are just professing Christianity. He's looking for who is willing to bear burdens for my cause, who is willing to do the disagreeable duties, who is willing to raise her hand for Jesus and say, Lord, here I am, send me. I am willing to stand and report as a gospel soldier, and I'm willing to endure hardness as a good soldier for Jesus Christ. As 2 Timothy 2:3 says, do something every day that scares you. This is our test. This is our call for discipleship. So friends, I encourage you, if you want to experience a joy that you've never had before, if you want to see growth this next year like never before, and you want to develop and dedicate your talents for Christ's service, then I encourage you to join us with the Army of Youth on these weekly online Bible study groups, where in these groups we every day get together with a small groups that we like to call squads, because we're in the Army of Youth. And in these squads, people come from all over the world, and they're getting training, they're getting drilled, they're getting faithful training for how they can take up responsibility, to learn the skills, to communicate with other people for Christ, and to develop the life basic skills, the biblical principles of success that will help them to live their calling. Ministry leaders from all around the world are participating and joining in the discussion. And the Lord may be calling you today to to contribute to these squads. It's not a video like this. It is an interactive experience where people are coming with real questions that you can answer. People are coming, and you might be someone who has questions that others experienced gospel soldiers can help answer for you. It's an incredible experience. People come on their first time, and just in their first session, they're like, whoa, this is life-changing. So I want to encourage you, friends, if you want to join us, it's just 1 hour a week out of the 156 hours of our week. You can join us. Go to thearmyofyouth.com/squads. And you can join us today. Just go to thearmyofyouth.com/squads and join this army of youth that God is training to do the discomfortable and step out of your comfort zone for Christ. If this is your desire, I encourage you to let me know in the comments below saying, here I am, Lord, send me. I want to participate. And if you thought that this video was helpful to you, then like this video, share it with someone else who also could be encouraged by this. And remember to subscribe and hit the notification to our podcast or follow our page so that you can get more videos like this. And as always, friends, remember, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called.